Hey guys, Libble here. Today I'm bringing you some more Salamangreat content. So this is the deck that I profiled the other day. I think it was last Tuesday. And I just thought I was going to bring you a combo video, but I realized that Salamangreats don't really have that many combos. So I just thought I'd take you through some test hands. So we'll just do a couple of them, see where we can go. And yeah, we'll just jump straight into it. So I just wanted to bring you this just to kind of show you how consistent the list is. I found it to be quite consistent. Mind you, now I've said that, probably going to get some dead draws. Shuffled it up a little bit. Then we're going to draw 5 cards. Okay, so this is actually a great hand. Right, so first things first, you want to use Salamangreat Circle to add the Gazelle, wherever that might be. Okay, add Gazelle to hand. Now once we've done that, I'm going to activate Signet Mining, send a Jack Jaguar to graveyard. And that will add us our... We could add Lady Debug here, we could add Spinny, we could add whatever. Actually don't know what I would add. We will add... Actually, I'm going to add Former Skipper to hand. Because we already have Gazelle in hand, we already have a card in grave. We're already about to get Gazelle's effect. So we'll activate Gazelle's effect, special summon the Gazelle. Gazelle's effect with chain, allowing us to send 1 raw to the graveyard. So depending what you're coming up against, would basically depend what you're going to add. So if you're coming up against Adamantipator, I'd suggest adding Rage to hand. But because we're just kind of doing a test hand, a general board, I would say raw to the grave is probably the best. Straight after that, we're going to want to normal summon the Former Skipper. We're going to use Gazelle to link into Bailings. We're going to then, sorry, let me move some stuff around. We're going to then activate Bailings' effect to add our Sanctuary to hand, wherever it may be. Top of the deck, of course. We've also made a misplay already. The Forward Skipper, we should have just summoned to a random zone. So just say the one to the right. Then, once we summon that, we're going to chain Parallel Exceed, special summon. Parallel Exceed will then activate, allowing us to... Actually, no. We wouldn't want to activate Parallel Exceed yet. We'd want to do that once we have Sunlight Wolf on the board. So now we're here, we're going to activate Forward Skipper's effect, which allows us to copy the name of Sunlight Wolf. Then we're going to link, summon out the Sunlight Wolf. And then at this point, we can, because Forward Skipper copied its name, we've technically used Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf as a link material for Sunlight Wolf, which means that we can use his effect and we don't need to use Sanctuary at all. So you can activate Forward Skipper's effect in the graveyard just to get some search and get some more presence in hand. So we can add a Parallel Exceed to hand. Obviously it doesn't matter because we already have one. And then, at this point, when we special summon him, we're going to be wanting to summon the Parallel Exceed from our hand as well. So that lets us summon another Parallel Exceed from deck. Boom. So just adding it with the Former Skipper just means that it's not going to be a dead draw because we've already used the 2 in deck now. So yeah. Anyway, now we're here. Sunlight Wolf's effect will activate because we summoned a monster to a link zone it points to. And that will let us add Gazelle back to hand. And then we can use his effect. And add the, where is it? The raw back to hand. So our hand's looking pretty good now. And then at this point, you're just going to want to, I would say, link away from the zone here. So linking into basically whatever we need. So what do we have in hand? We have an Imperm and a Raw in hand. So we already have a Monster Negate in terms of Imperm. So if we don't know what we're going up against, it's just a first turn blind board. I'd go into the Abyss Dweller here because it's pretty much good against every deck right now. And we've already got the Imperm for Monster Negates anyway. Then I would be setting 2 cards and passing turn. So as you can see in the graveyard, we've got the Sunlight Wolf in the graveyard ready to bounce back. If we don't use the Raw that turn for whatever reason, we've got the Circle we can add back to hand that we can just use to make him unaffected by cards, or just search another Salad Monster to hand. Then in hand, we've got a Parallel Exceed, a Gazelle, and a Sanctuary. So next turn we can go into Babushka if we really want. because we could summon the Gazelle, or just link summon over, summon the Parallax Seed, summon the Jack, overlay them both. But yeah, so that's the first hand. I think that's definitely a good board. This is the board that we're kind of trying to, that I've built the deck to kind of build. So make sure we get a rank 4, a Sunlight Wolf, and at least one trap on the field. Okay, so next test hand. Hopefully we can get one as good as that. That'd be great. Or maybe a little bit worse, see if we can play out of it. Okay, if you're liking the video so far, guys, please make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. It would really help out the channel, especially if it's just new. Anyway, badoom, okay. Right, so we have a pretty decent hand here. So in this position, we could use the Gazelle rule, but I'm not sure, because it's being, so the Gazelle rule being, we can activate the Silent Mining, ditch the Spinny, and then add Gazelle straight to hand. But I'm not sure how legal it is, because I know some judges don't rule towards it and some do, so just make sure that if you're playing Salads in the tournament, just ask your judge if they agree with this ruling or not. Anyway, I think I'm going to go with assuming that they're not going to accept this ruling. So I'm going to activate Silent Mining, discard the rule to add Lady Debug to hand. I'm then going to summon Lady Debug. I'm going to summon it there. I'm going to summon Lady Debug to add the Gazelle to hand. Okay, I'm going to link off the Debug into the Balinks, adding the Sanctuary to hand. Nice. Now I've got Sanctuary in hand. We're going to activate Spinny's effect, discard him to make Balinks gain 500. Then we're going to chain Gazelle's effect to special summon Gazelle. We're going to activate Gazelle's effect to send Jaguar to the graveyard. Here. Because we already have the Roaring Grave, we've already got a Rage in hand, so we don't need to be bothered sending the traps. So at this point here, we're going to link over these two to summon out the Sunlight Wolf. And then we're going to, oh sorry, we would have had to activate the Sanctuary in order to link over the, no, hold on, yeah. So we're, sorry, I'm being stupid. We're going to activate Sanctuary, then we're going to link off the Sunlight Wolf into a second Sunlight Wolf. Use Sunlight Wolf's ability to add Roar back to hand. And then we're going to use Jaguar's effect Engrave to return the Sunlight Wolf to the top of the deck. Special summon out the Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf, the Jag, change Sunlight Wolf's effect to add Gazelle back to hand. And then boom. So our hand would then consist of, we would set the Roar and the Rage, and then we would have an Ash in hand and a Gazelle. So yeah, again, pretty good board. We could, if we really wanted to go further, we could summon the Spinny, or if we were going second, we could summon the Spinny and see what we could do, or if they've Ash Blossomed us at some point. I'm just kind of assuming they have no interruptions, and I'm just going for it, which isn't the best thing to do in test hands, but I just wanted to show you how consistent the deck is and what boards you can make if you go uninterrupted. Okay, we'll do another test hand, or two, depending how fast they go. Like if it's a dead hand, then obviously we can't really do too much. But yeah, going well so far. Hopefully seeing that these hands are completely, I'm not intentionally trying to stack the deck if that's what I'm doing. I have absolutely no coordination. This is about the best thing I can do in terms of shuffling. And the next hand is okay. It's not the greatest hand because we've obviously drawn the Sanctuary and we have two Lady Debugs. So we'd start by summoning the Debug. We could probably only do the standard play here. We could just get an Imperm and a Balinks on field. We couldn't really do, this is a pretty dead hand. So we'd add the Gazelle hand, as usual. Lunk off the Debug to summon Balinks. We can't activate Balinks to effect, sadly, but we would activate the Sanctuary, link off the Balinks into a Balinks. Then at this point we could special summon the Gazelle. Now it completely depends what you want to do here. I reckon the best course of action would be to, right, so we have two options. We could either send a Falco, or we could send a Jack Jaguar. And we'd probably, Jack Jaguar is much better to have in the grave, so we'd probably go to send Jack Jag. The reason we're summoning Jack Jaguar, or sending Jack Jaguar, is because we can link off with these two into a Sunlight Wolf. Then we will use Jack Jaguar's effect to return a Balinx to the top deck, special summon Jack Jaguar to a zone, add Gazelle back to hand, and then we could set the 1 imperm. And that's pretty much all this hand can do. So I wouldn't say this is a great hand, obviously, because you haven't got any of your Salamangreat interruptions, but you've got an Ash Blossom, you've got an imperm, so that's usually enough to get the job done. Well, I say usually enough. With all these insane decks that just build amazing boards, it's probably not nowhere near enough, but it's better than nothing. We're going to do one more test hand because that one was pretty lackluster. Hopefully that wasn't. Hopefully the next one will be a lot better. Obviously we still got a Sunlight Wolf and a trap set and a card in hand. So again, you could see it as bad, you could see it's good. I definitely wouldn't say it was good though. Okay. So this is a bit of an interesting hand. We haven't seen something like this before. So we've got Foxy, we've got Diddy Crow, Dark Ruler, and a Lady Debug. So what I would do here, I'd normal summon the Debug. I would use that to add, where is he? Where's Gazelle? Gazelle to hand. I would then use our 1-for-1 to send Foxy to the grave, allowing us to special summon out Format Skipper. Where is he? There he is. Format Skipper. Okay. So when we're in this position, then link off the Debug into a Balinx. Balinx effect would obviously activate to add as Sanctuary to hand. At this point, I'd then link these two off. I would obviously use Format Skipper's effect to call Sunlight Wolf and go into him. At this point, we'd have two effects that chain. So we'd have the Format Skipper that activates, and we'd have the Gazelle in hand that activates. So we use the Format Skipper to add as the Paralytic Seed, and then we'd special summon the Gazelle over here. Gazelle's effect would activate, allowing us to send a trap to grave. So at this point, you could do one of two things. You could either stop where you are. How many summons is that? So we've got the 1 Debug, Balinx, Formad. So okay, so that is 5. So they could mirror you here, but it doesn't matter too much. Well, I say it doesn't matter too much. It does matter very much. But what I would do now is, because we want to get that rank 4 on board, I would say we want to link over. No, where would we link over? Yeah, we can link over. We can link over these two into another Sunlight Wolf. Then we could chain the Paralytic Seas in our hand to special summon, and special summon another Paralytic Seas from hand, deck, special summon from deck, triggering the Sunlight Wolf's effect to add Gazelle back to hand. Then overlay the two off to the side with the, so in this hand, we have graveyard removal, and we have the Raw back in hand. So, or we will have the Raw back in hand in a second. So I'll go into the Babushka here, just for the kind of coverage. Then we'd use Sunlight Wolf's effect to add the Raw back to hand. Obviously, because Sunlight Wolf doesn't have defense points, it can't go to defense mode, and its effect can't be negated. So that's the only downside with Babushka, is that it doesn't deal with links. That's pretty much it. Okay, so from there, we've got a Dark Ruler no more. So just in case we're going second, or if they build a good board next turn, I need to break it. Got Diddy Crow for the graveyard removal. Got the Gazelle and Sanctum for the next turn plays. Got the Babushka, obviously, to stop the opponent from doing things. And the Raw again, to stop people from doing things. But yeah, I think that was pretty good. So that's going to wrap up these test hands. Sorry. I hope that kind of gave you a bit of a better insight into how to play Salamangreats, or how I would play and what this deck gears towards, and it kind of gives some method to the madness. But yeah, So if you guys enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I'm uploading videos every Monday and Friday, and the next video to be coming out after this will be a Plunder Patrol deck profile that I've been trying to bring you for a while, but the cards have only just arrived recently. So yeah, thank you very much, and I'll catch you on in the next video. See ya.